You guys, no childbirth scene in this one. So I went into 28 years later, The Bone Temple, with a bit of trepidation. I had heard it was better than the first one, and I'm here to report that, in my opinion, that is accurate. This one was quite a bit better than the first one. Now, I did not outright despise the first one. It's just that childbirthing scene. There were some other things that got in the way of me being able to fully enjoy the first one like I wanted to, but it didn't make my list of worst for the year. This one is an improvement. I have not organized my notes, so please bear with me as I try to collect my thoughts. I'm going to be on a live stream shortly, so I just didn't have time to do this. I got back from the theater not long ago. This movie, if you can't tell by the trailer, largely follows the doctor's character from the first movie, Ralph Fiennes plays him, and the character of Spike. Now, if you remember at the end of the first movie, and I know this is not technically the first movie, but this is a trilogy of movies, 28 years later, The Bone Temple, and then the third one, which is in development, and we don't really know yet when it's coming out. That one, I believe, will be starring Cillian Murphy, and yes, he does make an appearance at the end of this. You guys have probably heard that news already. It's not long, and the movie is not about him. So at the end of the first one, Spike got caught up with this group called the Jimmies, and that whole thing sparked a controversy, I remember. But anyway, this movie is covering the two storylines, Spike with the Jimmies and the Doctor with Samson. We all remember Samson. He is in here quite a bit as well. Yes, you do see him naked a lot of times, not all the time, but that storyline, and the two do converge at the end. That storyline is really about the Doctor's attempt to, I don't want to say form a bond with Samson because we kind of already saw that happening in the first movie, but his attempt to try to help fix him. You know, he's a doctor, so he's been researching this infection and trying to figure out if there's a way to reverse it and whatever. So that's what's going on with him. And then with Spike and the Jimmies, you find out just how horrid the Jimmies are, or most of them anyway. And he's caught up with them and kind of forced to stay with them. It's either that or fend for himself. And so he knows he's safer with this group. But the things that they are doing and the things they want him to do are horrible. I mean, these are some very bad people, especially the leader, if you hadn't already figured that out. They kind of rescued him at the end of the first movie, but they are terrible. Really, really, really bad dudes. As is the case in most zombie-type movies, the real bad guys are the humans. It's kind of been done over and over. It does get a little bit stale after a while, but here we are. That's just the way this one is. And as a whole, I don't have a ton of huge complaints about it. Not yet, anyway. If I see it again, maybe I'll notice some more. Any complaints I have about it are with things like characters doing things that don't make sense. It didn't add up to the point that I was getting super annoyed by it, but I did notice it. Now, something else that I also noticed as I was watching it was that initially I didn't feel fully drawn into it for whatever reason, and I think it was probably some residual annoyance from the first movie, and like I said, the trepidation that I felt that I was going to enjoy this. Now, this was directed by Nia DaCosta, not by Danny Boyle. Fortunately, Nia did not write it. Thank goodness, because she wrote The Candyman, and that one was awful for pretty explicit reasons. But I thought that her direction was fine. And getting back to any complaints that I had about things that the characters did, stuff like there's a group of people in the woods, a group of 3 people, and they're, like foraging for food or whatever, and they notice an infected, and the infected does not notice them. So the action that one of the people in this group does really don't make any sense. Now, obviously, it was done in order to move the other characters in a particular direction or make them do, whatever, head off to this other place. But logically, it didn't make any sense. Given how long these people have coexisted, not really coexisted, but given how long these people are aware of the dangers, the fact that this action was taken was nonsensical to me. It should not have happened. Another thing, there is a group of people that are being held hostage, pretty much, and one of the people that is in this dangerous situation implements a weapon in the form of boiling water. But instead of directing this at the main baddie that was right there, they just kind of threw the boiling water in the center of everybody. That was dumb too. Why not just attack the leader? And then another thing that jumped out at me was there's another moment where these bad people are doing very bad things, and then something happens to one of the baddies. And yet the people around, the other bad people around, don't even really react right away. Like, it's several moments before there is any reaction at all. Obviously, it's so we can see this dramatic moment play out, but realistically, it doesn't track. There would have been a quicker reaction to what had happened. In the grand scheme of this story, these are pretty minor issues and definitely do not drag this film down to the level that the first one was dragged down by that one god-awful scene. It's not perfect, yet for me, there was quite a bit to enjoy here. And as I had been mentioning earlier, initially I just wasn't really into it and I didn't feel connected with the characters, not even little Spike. But as the story progressed, yes, I did start to feel an emotional investment in his well-being and also in what was going on with the doctor and Samson. Very curious to see if this is something that is going to carry through into the third movie. That would be pretty interesting, but I honestly don't know if it will, and if it does, how that could be possible. And you'll probably know what I'm talking about whenever you watch the movie for yourself, but I guess we'll find out, won't we, whenever this third one comes out. It's kind of a bummer that they didn't just film this third one, but I don't know, for whatever reason they didn't. Maybe they weren't sure it was going to even happen, but apparently it is. Whenever it comes out, I'll be there to check it out, and hopefully it will continue on the upward trajectory that has been going on with these films so far. Well, these latest films anyway. Okay, that's all I have to say for now about 28 Years Later at the Bone Temple. If you guys get a chance to check it out, let me know what you think, especially compared to the one that came before it. All right, you guys, bye.